The starship U.S. Dauntless moved silently through the darkness beyond Neptune's orbit. Captain Alan Shepard sat in his command chair, watching the vast emptiness of space on the main screen. This was humanity's first true deep space mission, and so far, they had found nothing but rocks, ice, and more emptiness. "Captain, I'm detecting an anomaly at coordinates 227 by 84, said Lieutenant Grace Fisher from her station. Her voice was steady, but Alan could hear the excitement underneath. "On screen," Alan ordered, sitting up straighter. The image shifted, and there it was, a shape unlike anything built by human hands. The object was smooth and curved, with a surface that seemed to shimmer like oil on water. It was clearly a ship, and clearly not from Earth. "My God," whispered Commander Jack Howard, the first officer. "We're not alone." The bridge fell silent. Humanity had wondered for centuries if other intelligent life existed. Now they had their answer. "Open all communication channels," Alan said. "Standard greeting package." Chief Science Officer Olivia Martinez worked quickly at her station. "Broadcasting on all frequencies, sir." For several long minutes, nothing happened. Then the alien ship began to glow brighter. A beam of light shot out, scanning the Dauntless from bow to stern. "They're scanning us," Olivia reported. "Our systems are still operational." Suddenly, the main screen flickered. An image appeared, a being with blue-gray skin, large dark eyes, and no visible mouth. Instead, small tendrils vibrated near what might be its neck. "Captain," Olivia whispered, "I'm detecting unusual signals. They're attempting to communicate, but not on any frequency we expected." Adjusting now. The alien's vibrating tendrils created sounds that the ship's computer struggled to process. Then, in halting English, words emerged. "Humans, you have left your boundary. This is unexpected." Alan stood up, straightening his uniform. "I am Captain Alan Shepard of Earth's United Space Agency vessel Dauntless. We come in peace and friendship." The alien tilted its head. "Peace? You were not to develop faster-than-light technology for another 312 cycles. This is concerning." "We've worked hard to advance our technology," Alan said proudly. "We wish to establish diplomatic relations with your people." The alien's tendrils vibrated rapidly. "Not possible. Earth is under quarantine by order of the Galactic Confederation Council. You must return to your system immediately." Olivia looked up from her station in shock. "Quarantine? Galactic Confederation? There are more of you." 247 spacefaring species form the Confederation, the alien replied. "I am Ambassador Zix Toril of the Meldari, fourth species of the Founding Council." "Why are we quarantined?" Alan demanded. "We have the right to explore space like any other species." The alien's tendrils stilled. "Humanity is unpredictable, dangerous. The Council determined your species requires further observation before contact." "You've been watching us?" Jack asked, his voice rising with anger. "For centuries. Your wars, your rapid technological development, your emotional extremes. The Council voted unanimously for quarantine 400 years ago." Alan stepped forward. "That's not fair. You can't judge an entire species based on." "The decision is made." Zix Toril interrupted. "You will return to Earth. A warning beacon will be placed at the orbit of your fourth planet. Any human vessel attempting to pass beyond Mars will be intercepted and returned." Before Alan could protest further, the alien's image vanished. Outside, the alien ship moved with impossible speed, leaving behind a small device that pulsed with red light. "They're gone, Captain," Grace said quietly. "And they've left that thing." "Olivia, analysis?" Alan asked. "It appears to be a warning beacon, just as they said. It's broadcasting a signal that basically says, 'Do not cross,' in over 1,000 different languages." Alan stared at the beacon on the screen, his jaw tight with anger. "Set course for Earth. We need to report this immediately." As the Dauntless turned back toward home, the crew sat in stunned silence. They had finally made contact with alien life, only to discover they were prisoners in their own solar system. Humanity had reached for the stars, and the stars had slapped their hand away. But Captain Alan Shepard knew one thing about humans: they didn't accept being told no very easily. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. 5 years passed since the Dauntless returned with its shocking news. Earth governments united in a way never seen before, forming the Earth Defense Alliance. Everyone now worked together with one goal: finding a way past the alien quarantine. Gary Phillips sat in the NASA listening station near the North Pole, monitoring deep space signals. Most people thought his job was boring, sitting alone for 12 hours, listening to static from space. But Gary loved it. Every beep and crackle might be something important. Today, something was different. Gary adjusted his headphones and leaned closer to his screen. "That's odd," he muttered to himself. The signal came from Saturn's rings. It wasn't random noise. It had patterns, like a code. Gary recorded it and sent a message to his boss, Dr. Samantha Rodriguez. 2 days later, Gary and Samantha stood before a room of military officers and scientists. "We believe something is hiding in Saturn's rings," Samantha explained. "The signal patterns match what the Dauntless recorded from the alien ship 5 years ago." Admiral Frank Porter leaned forward. "Are you saying these aliens have been in our solar system the whole time?" "Yes," Gary said. "We think they've been watching us for centuries, just like they claimed. But now we know where one of their observation posts is." The room erupted with questions and arguments. Finally, Admiral Porter raised his hand for silence. "We're sending a ship to investigate. The Challenger is our newest vessel. It has stealth technology that might allow it to approach without being detected." 3 weeks later, the Challenger hid behind one of Saturn's small moons. Captain Linda Evans watched the rings through a high-powered telescope. "There," said her science officer, Dr. Paul Winters. "That section of the rings doesn't move like the rest." Linda nodded. "Good eye. Get us closer, but keep the stealth systems at maximum." As they approached, the illusion became clear. Part of Saturn's rings wasn't rings at all. It was a small station, using light-bending technology to hide itself. "They're good," Linda admitted. "We never would have found it without that signal." "Captain," called out the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission from the station." In English. The main screen flickered to life. An alien appeared, but not like the blue-gray being from 5 years ago. This one had reddish skin and 4 eyes set in a diamond pattern. "Humans," the alien said. "I was wondering when you would find me." Linda stood tall. "I am Captain Linda Evans of the Earth vessel Challenger. You are in Earth's solar system without permission." The alien made a strange sound, almost like laughter. "Without permission? This station has been here for 300 of your years. My name is Krill. I was a scientist for the Confederation." "Was?" Linda asked. "I have been abandoned here," Krill explained. "My superiors disapproved of my research methods." "What research?" Dr. Winters asked. "Studying humans, of course," Krill said. "You are fascinating creatures, so adaptable, so unpredictable, so dangerous." Linda frowned. "We're not dangerous. We just want to join the galactic community." "That is exactly what the elders fear," Krill said. "Most species are guided into the Confederation slowly over centuries. But humans, you advance too quickly, create too much change. The elders fear you would disrupt the careful balance they have maintained for thousands of years. So they just lock us away." Linda's voice grew angry. "Yes, but I disagree with this decision. I have studied you closely. Humans deserve a place among the stars." Krill moved closer to his camera. "I will help you." "Why would you help us?" Linda asked, suspicious. "Because I have grown to admire your species, and because I have nothing to lose." Krill's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. I can give you information about Confederation technology, communication systems, star maps. Suddenly, alarms blared on Krill's station. They have found me, he said urgently. Confederation enforcers approach. This station will self-destruct soon. I am transmitting data to your ship now. Use it wisely. The transmission ended as the Challenger's computers began downloading massive amounts of information. Captain, the pilot called out. 3 ships just appeared near Jupiter. They're heading this way fast. Get us out of here, Linda ordered. Maximum speed back to Earth. As the Challenger fled, Krill's hidden station exploded in a flash of light that briefly outshone Saturn's rings. Earth now had what it needed, the first step toward breaking free. Deep beneath the New Mexico desert, in a facility hidden from satellite detection, Dr. Natalie Wright stared at a holographic display. Data from Krill's transmission filled the air around her with glowing symbols and diagrams. This is incredible, she said, moving her hands to zoom in on one section. The Confederation's technology is centuries beyond ours, but their principles are familiar. Colonel John Davis crossed his arms. Can we build weapons from this? Something to fight back if they attack. Natalie frowned. That's your first thought. Weapons? I'm a soldier. My job is to protect Earth. And my job is to understand, Natalie replied. Look at this data. The Confederation has thousands of worlds, millions of ships. We can't win a war against them. John sighed. Then what do you suggest, Doctor? We just accept being prisoners in our own solar system. Before Natalie could answer, a young man burst into the room. Kevin Martinez was only 26, but his genius with quantum physics had earned him a place on this secret project. Dr. Wright, I found something. Kevin pulled up a new display. Look at their communication system. It uses quantum entanglement across vast distances. That's how they talk between star systems instantly. Natalie studied the display. Can we replicate this? I think so, Kevin said. But there's more. Their universal translator has a fundamental flaw. What flaw? John asked. It translates words and basic meaning, but it loses emotional context completely. Kevin pointed to a section of alien code. The Confederation species communicate differently. Some use chemicals, others use colors or electrical signals. The translator lets them understand each other's words, but not feelings. Natalie's eyes widened. That's why they fear us. Humans are emotional beings. We communicate as much through tone and expression as through words. Exactly, Kevin said. To them, we're unpredictable because they can't understand our emotional language. John leaned against a table. So what do we do with this information? Natalie thought for a moment. We build our own communication system, one that can broadcast not just words, but human emotions and art and music. We show the galaxy who we really are. For the next 3 months, the secret facility buzzed with activity. Hundreds of scientists and engineers worked day and night, building a device unlike anything on Earth. At its heart was Kevin's quantum communication array, capable of linking to the Confederation's own network. One day, as they worked, Kevin approached Natalie with a tablet. Dr. Wright, we've intercepted some Confederation communications, he said quietly. I think you should see this. Natalie took the tablet and read. This can't be right. I've confirmed it 3 times, Kevin said. The Confederation isn't united. There are factions. Many younger species resent the control of the founding members. The Elder 13, Natalie murmured, remembering Krill's data. The original species who formed the Confederation. Yes, and there's more. The quarantine on Earth wasn't a unanimous decision. Many species voted against it. John, who had been listening nearby, stepped closer. That gives us an opportunity. For what? Natalie asked. Divide and conquer, the colonel said. The oldest military strategy in history. No, Natalie shook her head. Not divide and conquer. Unite and persuade. We need to reach out to those who might sympathize with us. Kevin scrolled to another section on the tablet. There's a major Confederation Congress happening in 6 months. Every species will send representatives. The Elder 13 plan to propose new rules that will give them even more power. Natalie looked at the massive communication array taking shape in the center of the facility. It was nearly complete. Then we have a deadline, she said. We need to be ready before that Congress begins. John nodded. I'll inform the Alliance leadership. This is bigger than just breaking the quarantine now. This is about humanity's place in the galaxy. As they spoke, engineers continued to assemble the array. Soon, Earth would have a voice that could reach across the stars, a voice that couldn't be ignored. And the Confederation wasn't ready for what that voice would say. Lisa Newman rubbed her tired eyes. For 2 weeks straight, she had been analyzing alien language patterns. As Earth's top linguist, she was brought into Project Prometheus to help decode the vast amount of Confederation transmissions they were now intercepting. Find anything interesting? Asked Samantha Rodriguez, who had joined the project after discovering the alien signal with Gary. More than interesting, Lisa said. I found something shocking. She pointed to her screen where alien text scrolled past. The Confederation claims to be a democratic organization, but it's actually controlled by 13 species. They call themselves the Elder 13. The founding members, Samantha nodded. Krill mentioned them. Yes, but what he didn't tell us is how they maintain control. Lisa pulled up another screen. Every major decision requires a 2/3 majority vote, but the Elder 13 control 60% of all votes automatically. They only need to convince a few smaller species to get their way every time. Samantha leaned closer. That doesn't seem fair. It's not, and many species are getting tired of it. Lisa showed a different document. Look at these transmissions. There's a growing coalition called the Rising Worlds, newer spacefaring civilizations pushing for more equal representation. Could they be allies? Samantha asked. Possibly. They've argued against Earth's quarantine several times. Lisa stood up and stretched. Let's bring this to Dr. Wright. In the main control room, Natalie Wright and Colonel Davis listened as Lisa explained her findings. Kevin Martins worked nearby, fine-tuning the quantum communication array. This changes everything, Natalie said when Lisa finished. The Confederation isn't a united front against us. It's a political system with factions and disagreements. And political systems can be influenced, Colonel Davis added, especially when there's discontent. Kevin joined them, wiping grease from his hands. The array is almost ready. We'll be able to tap into their communication network without them detecting us. We could send a message to every world in the Confederation simultaneously. But what would we say? Samantha asked. How do we convince an entire galaxy we're not dangerous? By showing them who we really are, Lisa replied. Not just our words, but our art, our music, our emotions. Everything the Elder 13 are afraid of. Colonel Davis nodded slowly. A cultural first strike. Not a strike, Natalie corrected. An invitation. We show them why human creativity and emotion are strengths, not threats. There's something else, Lisa said quietly. The Elder 13 are holding a major congress in 4 weeks. They plan to propose new laws giving them even more control, including stricter enforcement of quarantines like Earth's. Then that's our deadline, Colonel Davis said. We need to make our move before they can lock us down even tighter. Natalie turned to Kevin. How soon can the array be ready? 3 weeks, minimum, he answered. But there's a problem. Even with Krill's data, our power systems can only generate enough energy for one major broadcast. After that, the array will burn out. So we get one shot, Colonel Davis said grimly. One shot to change the minds of an entire galaxy, Natalie agreed. We need to make it count. The team worked around the clock. Scientists, artists, musicians, and writers from around the world were secretly brought to the facility. Together, they created a message unlike any ever sent before. Lisa led a team that crafted the words, carefully chosen to translate clearly while preserving emotional context. Musicians composed pieces that conveyed human feelings across cultural barriers. Artists created images that showcased Earth's beauty and humanity's creativity. On the night before the broadcast, Natalie stood before the world leaders who had gathered in the secret facility. "Tomorrow, we make our announcement to the galaxy," she said. "We can't predict how the Confederation will respond. They might open diplomatic relations, or they might attack us in fear. But whatever happens, humanity will no longer be silent. We will no longer accept being imprisoned in our own solar system." The room erupted in applause. After centuries of looking up at the stars and wondering, humanity was about to make itself known to the galaxy, whether the galaxy was ready or not. The day of the broadcast arrived. Deep in the New Mexico facility, the atmosphere was tense but excited. This was the moment humans had been working toward for 5 years, since the Dauntless first encountered the Confederation. Kevin Martinez made final adjustments to the quantum communication array. The massive machine hummed with power, its core glowing with blue energy. "Power levels at 98%, he announced. "The array is linked to the Confederation relay network. They don't know we're here yet." Dr. Natalie Wright nodded. "Good. Is everyone ready?" Around the room, teams of scientists, artists, and government officials gave thumbs up. In the center stood Lisa Newman with her linguistics team, ready to monitor the translation systems. Colonel Davis entered the room, followed by the President of the United States and leaders from other major nations. "It's time," the President said. "Let's show the galaxy who humanity really is." Natalie took a deep breath and stepped up to the main console. Initiating broadcast in 3, 2, 1. She pressed a glowing button. The array surged with power as Earth's message began streaming into the Confederation network. Across thousands of worlds, alien communication devices suddenly activated. In homes, in government buildings, in ships traveling between stars. The same message appeared. "Greetings from Earth." It began in every language. "We are humanity, and we wish to introduce ourselves properly." What followed was not a speech from a president or a list of demands. Instead, it was a carefully crafted presentation of human culture, art, and achievement. Images of Earth's natural beauty, oceans, mountains, forests, and deserts, flowed across alien screens. Music from around the world played, from classical symphonies to tribal drums to modern pop songs. Great works of art appeared alongside children's drawings. Lisa had carefully structured the message to convey human emotions in ways the aliens' translation systems couldn't filter out. When they spoke of joy, the message itself felt joyful. When they spoke of peace, it carried a sense of calm. "We are a young species," the message continued. "We have made mistakes. We have fought wars. But we have also created beauty. We have healed the sick. We have looked to the stars with wonder." Next came examples of human ingenuity. Mathematical formulas, scientific breakthroughs, and technological innovations. Colonel Davis had insisted on including just enough to show humanity's potential without revealing military capabilities. "We know the Confederation has placed us under quarantine," the message acknowledged. "We know you fear our unpredictability. But is not diversity the true strength of any community? Should not each voice be heard, no matter how different?" In the facility, Natalie watched the power levels of the array. They were dropping fast as the broadcast continued across billions of light years. "Power at 60%, Kevin warned. "We're burning through our reserves faster than expected." "Keep going," Natalie ordered. "We need to finish the message." On screens across the galaxy, the final part of Earth's message played. "The Confederation Congress begins in 7 days. We will send representatives to this meeting. We come not as invaders, but as neighbors seeking understanding. We ask only for the chance to be heard." The message ended with a simple image, a human hand, palm open in greeting. In alien government chambers, chaos erupted. The Elder 13 called emergency meetings. The Rising Worlds Coalition members celebrated this unexpected support for their cause. Billions of ordinary aliens discussed this strange species called humans who communicated with such strange emotional depth. Back on Earth, the quantum array sparked and smoked as its power cells burned out. "Broadcast complete," Kevin announced, wiping sweat from his brow. "Did it work?" the president asked. "Did they receive our message?" Before anyone could answer, a communication console chimed. A message appeared, using Earth's own communication systems. "Humans of Earth, we have heard you. We are listening." It was signed, the Rising Worlds Coalition. Natalie looked at Colonel Davis. "Now comes the hard part," she said. "We need to send a delegation to the Confederation Congress." "I'll prepare a ship," he replied, "and a crew." Humanity had spoken to the stars. Now they needed to face them in person. Aboard the newly constructed starship Emissary, Admiral Peter Woodward addressed his crew. The ship was humanity's finest achievement, built using technology from Krill's data, enhanced with human innovations. "We face an uncertain welcome," Peter said. "The Elder 13 have publicly demanded our arrest if we enter Confederation space. The Rising Worlds have offered support, but they risked their own standing by helping us." The crew of 100 included scientists, diplomats, soldiers, and cultural experts. They represented Earth's diversity, every continent, many cultures, and various fields of expertise. "We launch in 6 hours," Peter continued. "Our mission: reach Nexus Prime, the Confederation capital world, and make our case before the Congress begins." After the meeting, Peter found Dr. Wright checking equipment in the science lab. "Nervous, Doctor?" he asked. Natalie closed a storage compartment. "Terrified. We're about to meet hundreds of alien species and try to convince them we deserve freedom. And we barely understand their politics. That's why we brought Lisa and her linguistics team," Peter said. "And Colonel Davis for security. And you for science. We've planned for every possibility." "Except failure," Natalie said quietly. "If we fail, Earth may face worse than quarantine." 6 hours later, the emissary launched from a secret facility on the moon. Using stealth technology adapted from Krill's designs, they avoided the warning beacons at Mars and accelerated to faster-than-light speed once past Jupiter. The journey to Nexus Prime would take 12 days. During this time, Lisa Newman worked with her team to prepare the diplomatic team for alien languages and customs. "The Rising Worlds representatives will meet us at these coordinates," she explained, showing a star chart. "They'll guide us through Confederation security." On the 10th day, as they approached Confederation core territories, the communications officer, Eric Bennett, detected transmissions. "Admiral, I'm picking up Confederation security chatter," he reported. "They're discussing increased patrols near Nexus Prime. The Elder 13 suspect we might attend the Congress." "Have they detected us?" Peter asked. "No, sir. Our stealth systems are working. But they're suspicious." 2 days later, the emissary reached the rendezvous point. 3 ships waited for them, sleek vessels with glowing blue engines. "We're receiving a transmission," Eric announced. "Text only, in English." "Show me," Peter ordered. The message appeared on the main screen. "Humans of Earth, we represent the Rising Worlds Coalition. Follow us closely. Confederation security is heavy. We will guide you through the detection grid." Peter turned to his navigation officer. "Stay close to their lead ship. Match their movements exactly." For the next 6 hours, the small group of ships took a winding path through Confederation space. Twice they had to power down completely to avoid detection by patrol vessels. Finally, they'd reached Nexus Prime. The planet was unlike anything humans had seen, a world of soaring crystal towers and floating cities connected by streams of light. "It's beautiful," Natalie whispered. "And dangerous," Colonel Davis reminded her. "We're essentially infiltrating their capital." The Rising World ships guided them to a secluded docking area away from the main spaceports. When the emissary landed, a delegation of aliens waited to meet them. Peter, Natalie, Lisa, and Colonel Davis led the human group down the exit ramp. Before them stood 5 different alien species, each unique in appearance but wearing similar silver emblems. One stepped forward, a tall being with iridescent skin that shifted colors as it moved. "I am Ambassador Krell of the Solary," it said through a translator device. "Spokesperson for the Rising Worlds Coalition. We welcome humans to Nexus Prime, though we must keep your presence secret for now." "We appreciate your help," Peter replied. "We came to speak at the Congress." "The Congress begins tomorrow," Krell said. "The Elder 13 have already proposed new laws to strengthen the quarantine on Earth and increase their control over member worlds." "Then we arrived just in time," Colonel Davis said. Krell's skin darkened. "There is a problem. The Elder 13 control access to the Congress chamber. You cannot simply walk in and speak." "Then how do we reach them?" Natalie asked. "We have a plan," Krell answered, "but it is dangerous, and time is short." As the humans followed their new allies into a concealed transport, Peter thought about Earth, now so far away. Everything depended on what happened in the next 24 hours. Humanity's future among the stars hung in the balance. While the human delegation prepared for the Congress on Nexus Prime, dangers were brewing elsewhere in the galaxy. Deep in the private chambers of the Elder 13, a secret meeting took place. 12 holographic figures surrounded a single physical being. High Elder Zoth of the Meldari, the oldest and most powerful species in the Confederation. "The humans have defied our quarantine," Zoth said, his voice cold and steady. "They have hijacked our communication networks. They have infiltrated our space. This cannot stand." "Agreed," said another elder. "But they have support from the Rising Worlds. Any direct action against Earth might trigger a political crisis." Zoth waved a dismissive hand. "Politics are irrelevant if we eliminate the problem at its source." He touched a control panel, and a holographic image of Earth appeared. "While the humans attempt to plead their case here, we will send a fleet to their homeworld. A quick, surgical strike to demonstrate the consequences of defiance." The plan was approved. Within hours, a stealth fleet of 15 warships departed for Earth, using secret hyperspace routes unknown to the Rising Worlds. Back on Nexus Prime, Eric Bennett was monitoring communications in the emissary when he picked up an encrypted transmission. "That's odd," he muttered, working to decode it. When he finally broke through the encryption, his face went pale. He rushed to find Admiral Woodward, who was meeting with the Rising Worlds representatives. "Admiral," Eric burst into the room. "I intercepted a transmission from the Elder 13. They've sent a fleet to attack Earth." The room fell silent. "When?" Peter demanded. "They left 6 hours ago. Using their fastest drives, they'll reach Earth in 3 days," Eric said. Peter turned to Ambassador Krell. "We need to warn Earth immediately." "Impossible," Krell replied. "The Elders have blocked all outgoing transmissions to your solar system." "Then we need to get back home," Colonel Davis said. "We can fight them off." Natalie shook her head. "The emissary is fast, but not that fast. We'd never reach Earth in time." "There might be another way," Lisa said quietly. Everyone turned to her. Kevin's quantum array. It was based on Confederation technology, but with human modifications. It might be able to bypass their blocks. "The array was burned out after our broadcast," Natalie reminded her. "Yes, but we brought the blueprints and core components. We could build a smaller version here," Lisa insisted. Peter nodded. "Get started immediately." While Lisa's team worked frantically to build a new communication device, back on Earth, Gary Phillips was on duty at the listening station. He noticed a strange pattern in the background radiation from the outer solar system. "That's not natural," he said to himself. He called Samantha Rodriguez, who was now in charge of Earth defense operations. "Sam, I'm detecting something strange at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. It looks like distortions in space. Multiple sources. Samantha studied the data Gary sent her. Ships, she concluded. Coming in fast and trying to hide. Confederation, Gary asked. Most likely. How long until they reach Earth? At their current speed, less than 48 hours. Samantha activated the emergency protocol. This is not a drill. Possible hostile fleet approaching Earth. All defense units to alert status. On Nexus Prime, Lisa and her team finished the emergency communication device just as the Congress was about to begin. Ready, she told Admiral Woodward, but it's only powerful enough for a short message. Peter nodded. Send this. Hostile fleet approaching Earth. Prepare defenses. Broadcast everything. The message shot across space, bypassing the Confederation blocks by using human-modified quantum technology. When it reached Earth, Samantha was already coordinating global defenses. Kevin Martinez, who had stayed behind to develop new technology, rushed into her command center. I received a message from the emissary, he shouted. The Elder 13 sent that fleet to eliminate us. How do we fight off alien warships? Samantha asked. Kevin smiled. I've been working on something since they left. Something the Elders won't expect. He pulled up schematics on the main screen. Remember all that Confederation tech data Krill gave us? I didn't just build a communication array. On the screen appeared designs for a planetary defense system unlike anything Earth had ever seen, and it was ready to be activated. The Confederation fleet approached Earth, their weapons ready. Commander Vex of the Meldari stood on the bridge of the Leave warship, watching the blue planet grow larger on his screen. No sign they've detected us, his officer reported. Their primitive systems are blind to our approach. Vex nodded. Begin attack formation. Remember, this is a demonstration. Destroy their major military installations and government centers, but leave enough survivors to report our power to the rest of their world. The Confederation ships spread out, moving into position for their first strike. They were now close enough to see Earth's cities glittering in the darkness. Sir, one officer said suddenly, I'm detecting energy readings from the planet's surface. They're unusual. What kind of readings? Vex demanded. Before the officer could answer, the space around Earth began to shimmer. A translucent field appeared, encircling the entire planet like a soap bubble. What is that? Vex asked, alarmed. On Earth, Kevin Martinez stood in the Global Defense Center with Samantha Rodriguez. Around them, engineers worked frantically at control stations. Shield at 80% and holding, Kevin announced. The Confederation fleet is in range. Samantha nodded. Activate automated defense platforms. Across Earth's orbit, hidden satellites came to life. Built secretly over the past 5 years using Krill's data, these platforms contain technology the Confederation thought humans couldn't possibly understand. In space, Commander Vex watched in disbelief as dozens of small objects suddenly appeared around Earth, their cloaking technology deactivating. Impossible, he whispered. They'd built orbital defenses using our own technology. Sir, they're powering weapons, his officer shouted. Fire first, Vex ordered. Full assault. The Confederation ships launched their attack, but their energy weapons splashed harmlessly against Earth's shield. The human defense platforms responded with precise beams that disabled the engines of 3 Confederation vessels immediately. Back on Nexus Prime, Admiral Woodward and his team had put their own plan into action. As the Confederation Congress began, they activated a special broadcast using the Rising Worlds communication network. On every screen in the Congress chamber, images appeared showing the Confederation fleet attacking Earth, and Earth defending itself. The Elder 13 had not expected their secret attack to be visible to the entire Confederation. This is Admiral Peter Woodward of Earth. Peter's voice rang out across the chamber. The Elder 13 have sent a fleet to attack our homeworld without provocation, while claiming to uphold peace and justice. The Congress erupted in chaos. Representatives from hundreds of worlds shouted questions and accusations. High Elder Zoth stood, his face twisted with rage. The humans are a threat. They must be contained. Or perhaps the true threat is leaders who act in secret, who fear change, who attack those different from themselves. Lisa Newman's voice cut through the noise as she stepped forward with Peter. Ambassador Krell and the Rising Worlds delegation moved to stand with the humans. We call for an immediate vote. The Elder 13 have violated our most sacred laws by attacking a developing world without Congress approval. In space around Earth, the battle was ending quickly. 7 Confederation ships had been disabled. The rest retreated, unable to penetrate Earth's defenses. Commander Vex slammed his fist on his control panel. How could they have this technology? How could they adapt it so quickly? On Earth, Kevin and Samantha watched the enemy retreat. Broadcast everything to the galaxy, Kevin said. Let everyone see what happened here today. 2 weeks later, Admiral Woodward's ship returned to Earth. He brought news that changed everything. The Confederation had fractured. 156 species have formally denounced the Elder 13, breaking away to form a new alliance, the Galactic Coalition. Earth was invited to be a founding member. As the emissary landed, crowds cheered around the world. For the first time, alien ships followed, not as invaders, but as visitors and allies, eager to meet the humans who had stood against the Elder 13 and won. In a ceremony broadcast across Earth and to hundreds of worlds, Admiral Woodward and Dr. Wright signed the Coalition Charter alongside representatives from dozens of alien species. Today marks a new beginning, Peter said to the assembled crowd. Humanity has found its place among the stars, not through conquest or fear, but through courage, innovation, and friendship. As the ceremony ended, a young human child approached a small alien child who had come with the Solari delegation. Without words, the human offered a drawing. The alien offered a small glowing crystal in return. 2 children from different worlds, sharing gifts. The future had begun.